Hello, my name is Julie, and this is my blog. And I am doing this blog for one of my classes. And so, here we go. Um, this is for a discussion board on, I'm looking at my notes. I have notes. I shouldn't even say it. Differentiation through technology. See, I just have to hold it up and then I know what I'm doing. So, I'm going to answer a few questions and hopefully this will make sense. Hopefully. So the first question I'm going to answer is, how does the effective teacher balance the demand of a standards-based curriculum catered to the individual needs of each student? So I want to start out by saying that Romans 12:2 says that we should not be conformed to the ways of this world, but be transformed through the renewing of our minds. And I firmly believe that is what the calling is on teachers, for us to be able to renew the minds of students. We're not just babysitters. We're there to teach them to think critically, to engage their mind. The Bible tells us that we should love the Lord our God with all our hearts, all our mind, all our soul, and all our strength. We should know that if we're going to love the Lord our God with all of our mind, it means that we have to be active in our thought processes. God did not invent us just to be mindless drones that do nothing. And it's the same thing with our youth. We should not just be creating parrots or puppets. We should be creating thinkers, creators, inventors, dreamers. That is what we should be doing. And I think Romans 12:2 really covers that. From our text book, I'm going to mispronounce this name, Robler and Hughes, from 2019. They said, teaching is one of the most time and labor intensive jobs in our society. We can't expect people to be able to do what they do as teachers and be able to create apps or programs that will simplify the life of a teacher. But thankfully, there are people that have actually taken that step and created things to simplify the lives of teachers and to also simplify students and their journey of learning. Firstly, as we talk about how does an effective teacher balance this, the demand, I think that one of the biggest things is that they need to be able to observe and listen to their students. So in observing our students, we need to make sure that we can meet the needs. If it is a learning need on the student's end, where they maybe need more study, more background, more practice in something, then find a way to make that happen for that student in a way that does not embarrass the student or make them feel like they're less productive or a less studious student than their classmates. You also can utilize peer pressure in a positive way, or peer leadership also, by pairing that student up with a stronger student and allowing them to learn from each other. This is a very positive thing to do. But if the issue lie in the teacher, for instance, you are not delivering the content in a clear and understandable way, you're moving too quickly for your class, that kind of thing, then the teacher must be able to adapt and be willing to admit that maybe there are things they need to change. Maybe there's something they need to do differently. So in my notes, I said teachers should not insist on being static. We should not always be like, this worked for them last term, it can work for them this term. We should always be willing to grow and learn and change. We should also be willing to learn from other teachers. Teachers we work with, teachers that have established blogs or other things in the internet that you can utilize, and also teachers that have gone before. We can learn the positives and we can learn from the negatives, and we can become stronger teachers by doing so. So I'm going to combine question 2 and 3 together because I kind of feel like they go together. Question 2 is, what tools do we have at our disposal to help us comply with both demands? And number 3 is, what best practices regarding technology in your instruction do you incorporate into your lesson? One area that I find is very beneficial is the condensed online textbooks. Liberty University uses these in some of the classes. I think that standardized textbooks are just a little too wordy. There's a lot in a textbook. Textbooks are extremely thick, and I don't think they need to be that thick. And this is coming from a writer, so trust me when I say this. I know. I find that a lot of the online textbooks are very condensed, and you get what you need quickly. Whereas print textbooks that are available digitally are not. And even print textbooks are not. There's just so much there. And to try to get through it all is so tedious. It's mind-numbing sometimes. So I think having these online condensed textbooks is a very strong tool to have. And I think it's very beneficial. Some of the things I use in my class. I use noredink.com. That is one of my favorite go-to sites. I've been using it for my language acquisition class and my English writing class. I teach English in China, so the students are at different levels of English. I feel that No Red Ink gives you many different viable options, including allowing the students to self-edit and make corrections that they couldn't necessarily do or would not want to do, writing by hand. It also strengthens their typing skills, which they will need. I think one of the drawbacks is that the students can use a translation app. They can essentially write everything in Chinese and then have it translated to English and copy it over, which defeats the purpose. There's also the danger of plagiarism, which I actually have had happen a couple of times. Another good thing about No Red Ink is that you can use the plagiarism checkers online because the content is already typed. It's easier to do a plagiarism checker, and there are free plagiarism checkers out there, which is good. Another very positive thing to use in a class would be Kahoot. Students love to compete. There are a lot of pre-made Kahoot games they can play, but then you can also create your own. And I think the free version is more than adequate. I also highly recommend readtheory.org, which is 100% free. And the brilliant thing about readtheory.org is the student is assessed when they sign up, and their reading level is assigned to them. And they are given automatic reading assignments to match their reading level. And from there, they are also given critical thinking and application tests to take to make sure they are understanding what they've read. And in that, they are able to advance their level. And readtheory.org does all of it. All a teacher does is monitor that they're reading. The teacher doesn't have to set up anything. Whoever created readtheory.org, thank you. I really appreciate it. It's very good. No Red Ink, I feel like, is a very, very, very strong tool that I highly recommend for different kinds of assessments and writing. They have many pre-made ones, but then they also have that you can create your own, which is brilliant. I just did a FA, a formative assessment, of my language acquisition class, comparison essay on 2 different photos, or 2 different pieces of art. So I was able to upload a slide with the 2 pieces of art on Google Drive, and so put that link into the resources portion of the No Red Ink assignment, and put, of course, their assignment in the prompt area. And from there, they were able to complete their No Red Ink formative assessment, and they were able to make sure that they self-edited and had everything correct, as opposed to handwriting it. I felt like it went rather well. There are dangers of cheating, but I structured my classroom setup so that I could see all their screens without them having a chance to change from anything. One of the brilliant things about using that as a testing option is once they're done, and they can move into Read Theory and start their weekly reading, which I feel like is very, very beneficial. So I think I've answered those questions. I hope I did. I don't know how long this video was supposed to be. I tend to talk a lot, so it goes a little bit longer. But I hope that I helped you. Please, if you'd like to comment on my blog, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching.